Daniel Blair finally breaks his silence about Ricky. Hey everybody, Walty Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So let's jump back on the Moto merry-go-round. Around and around we go as we examine the good, the bad, and maybe even a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the Moto ruts. And we've got some Moto ruts to look through today. So many stories to cover, right? Chase Sexton falling apart over at KTM. Kenny Roczen on the Kickstart Suzuki. But this is a story I wanted to cover because I consider Daniel Blair a friend. I like Daniel Blair. I've been on his main event Moto podcast when I first came to YouTube not too long ago doing my brand of reporting. Got an invite to go on there and hang out. I remember Daniel from back in the day. When I was working with Triple X. And, I just really like the guy. And, I came up in the industry during the Ricky era, when he dethroned McGrath and he went through that hazing. He got booed like crazy. And Ricky really had to kind of do it the hard way. He really just had to go for pure grit. But he found his way into the booth. And that's what let's just cut to the chase, man. This is what anybody wants. I would be stoked to be like in the booth and on the broadcast and on television. Who wouldn't? Look at Adam Cirillo. We could tell that's exactly what he wanted. He was trying to hone his skills with his own podcast, trying to get himself ready for the opportunity to be on TV. And you can tell he is tickled to death that he found a spot on Race Day Live, and I'm sure he's got great ambitions to go on and be, in the main broadcast at some point or in other areas of sporting events or reporting or whatever. He probably feels like this is my true calling. Maybe it is. We'll have to wait and see. But the reality is this. I want to really break this down because, I understand Daniel Blair finally came out and produced a video. And if you get a chance, go over to his Daniel Blair show or main event Moto YouTube and watch it. If you haven't already, I'm sure most of you have. But he really said, he did the best he could. You could tell he was nervous because he was basically now like that door slammed shut, basically. I think what we saw for a while is, and when I went on his podcast on Main Event Moto, it was right after he announced that he was stepping down from the broadcast. And he told me right away, he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I said, all right, I won't even ask you about it, dude. It's all good, man. And, the reality is I think Daniel Blair really was doing his best. He wanted to keep that door slightly cracked open, just a peek, just in case. Like, he didn't want to burn his bridges quite yet because I think he still had aspirations of eventually making it back to the broadcast booth. Why wouldn't he? He said it himself. He loved it. He felt like he was good at it and he loved it and things were going so well. So even though it left a bad taste in his mouth, not, being embraced the way he felt like he should, he never threw anybody all the way under the bus. Now, in this day and age of YouTube and social media, a lot of channels like this one are given real talk, and there's clearly a lane for that. And clearly you, the viewers, like tuning into this type of stuff more than just the watered down mainstream media channels that are just reporting on cookie cutter. You can see it coming. You already know what they're going to say before they say it. Reporting. And, that's the way it should be. There should always be two sides of the aisle. And, a lot of us, even like, Cooksey with wherever he worked, Tucker Rocky, and that fell apart on him. Maybe that left a bad taste in his mouth. Now Daniel Blair got, the booth didn't go right. That left a bad taste in his mouth. Back when I was with Triple X, or even when I launched MotoStar Clothing and they shut me down from doing free giveaways in the pit, left a slightly bad taste in my mouth. But there's a lot of things about the industry I do love. I had a lot of help from Racer X, was actually very good to me They were good to Triple X. They were good to me at MotoStar. Nothing against them personally at all. I just know business, and I just see that this is now more Wall Street than Moto, and it's all the whole intention now is to take Moto mainstream, when it's always been kind of this niche alternative extreme sport, right? But we're doing our best to get it to go mainstream. And it is a popular motorsport. It's the second most televised motorsport, only behind NASCAR. And its growth index was showing us, basically passing NASCAR. So I think they want to see if they can provide that. I think, a lot of the kids coming up, this will become normal to them. But for a lot of us that have been around for a while, we see, I think there was, I forgot what it was, if it was Scummy or whatever it was, trying to, he was bringing, sponsoring a few privateers, trying to make Moto Punk again. Cool stuff. But the industry didn't like Triple X when they were there. MotoStar was a little more squeaky clean. That was my design with that brand, is something that was a little more squeaky clean, but still was edgy. But they, of course, blocked me when I tried to come do a giveaway at Anaheim 1 year because they didn't want it to interfere with their own sales. And I understood. And of course, I went out in the parking lot and just handed it out there to fans. So, made it happen anyway. But what I see now out of Daniel Blair, he's basically, his podcast is doing good. He knows he can just, scratch that itch with his YouTube channel. No, it's not going to be quite NBC Sports, but he had always alluded to the fact that NBC Sports, there was some guy there that just was, too rigid to really get through to, and rubbed him the wrong way. And that's the thing. I get it. Nobody wants to kiss butt, everybody's got their breaking point. And so if somebody pushes you or me into a corner, at some point you're going to snap. And you can only tolerate so much. And that's for me, I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how powerful you are. I don't care who you are in this sport. I don't care. I am not intimidated by you. I don't hold people up on a pedestal. I don't get starstruck. I'm usually the anti of that. If I see somebody that's they're a big person in the sport, I'm not going to be some super fan. Oh, can I get a selfie? That's just not me. And I know that's not most of you. But Daniel Blair did allude, and this is something we all kind of knew. This was something that was really the elephant in the room, because we all saw when Daniel Blair had his Blair's breakdown, he was down on the track, talking about the track, and here comes Ricky's been delegated to do a VIP walk around. This is before the VIP experience, pretty much, that the Lawrence brothers have, and some of the other teams now are just having their own little VIP experience. This is more of the Supercross, and Ricky was parading around some fans, or some people that paid to be able to. They sold tickets that you could go on a track walk with Ricky, and Ricky didn't really want to do that, and you could tell. And I think that's what really bruised Ricky's ego when he saw Daniel Blair with the mic and a camera crew, and he didn't have that. All he had was some people following around the track, and he was just trying to get this VIP experience. So, that's for reading between the lines and looking between the ruts. Isn't that what you saw? Pretty much, Daniel Blair had a camera crew and a microphone, and he was doing what Ricky felt like he should have been doing. I think Ricky felt like Daniel should have been schlepping these people around the track, not him. But Ricky's the GOAT. I'm sure that he was at that time, he was willing to do whatever it took to get in with the suits. Sure, I'll do it. But when he saw Daniel Blair, and he's always seen Daniel Blair as inferior, which he is on the racetrack to him, but off the track, Daniel Blair was starting to elevate himself within the broadcast. And he did a great job. He was very comfortable behind the mic, where Ricky is clearly not as polished or cut out for it, but you can teach anybody how to do it. And with time, Ricky has become better. We have to give him that. I almost like the early Ricky better than the Ricky we have now, because Ricky's trying to be a little more like Lee Diffie, basically. And that was kind of where Daniel, on his report, he basically took the gloves off, and he said he got a text from Ricky, and Ricky gave him some blowback, and then he basically came down to, I guess, Lee Diffie didn't really dig the fact that Daniel Blair was giving somebody else props. And it's just all this this basically pissing match that was taking place there. And everybody wants to be the man, right? Everybody wants to be the man, and everybody has their own little entourage and circle, kind of, scratching that itch for you, telling you, oh, you're the best, you're the best. Who cares who the best is? Everybody needs to just find their lane and stay in it. And final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now, they're shark infested. Daniel Blair, welcome to the swimming pool. Brother, it's nice you're actually out of the deep end and into the shallow and about to climb out. And it's basically now, let the chips fall where they may. You needed to air this out. And I could tell it was hard to do because you knew once you did this, the door was completely slammed shut. And I think you were trying to keep that cracked open just a hair, just in case somehow you could get your way back in. And when they invited you to be part of Race Day Live, that was your opportunity to get your foot back in the door. And then when they started to basically backpedal you on that whole thing, it just was your breaking point. And at that point, you're like, I was out before, but now I'm really out. But Walty will be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, gonna love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.